Wow, that is of course a great music video from Uzanda. It's titled Hamba by Kina City Zaman. This is XAY on Cape Town TV, and we're still taking all the way up until 5 p.m. And right now on the Yellow Couches, we are joined by Ben and Robyn, all the way from Edumatch, which is they developed an app with the idea in mind that young people really need support and help when it comes to choosing the right career in their lives. So they developed the app to actually help young people to calculate points in order to find out which bachelor's degree can they really qualify for.
And of course, I know with the matric results recently being announced, this might just come in handy, you know?
Definitely.
Really helpful. Guys, thank you so much for coming and welcome on the show. How are you guys doing?
Thanks for having us. Yeah, good.
Now, let's talk about this this new app, Edumatch, right? Tell us about it.
Go ahead.
Cool. So Edumatch is basically an APS score calculator, which is your admission point score. So universities use this when calculating to see whether you can qualify for a degree or not.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell us how the work that goes into actually creating a brand new app.
Sure.
What goes into that?
Well, I mean, the idea of Edumatch came from a number of students were emailing us and sending us messages on our other platforms, and they were asking. They were giving us their marks, and they were saying, here's my marks, where do I get in? And what we wanted to kind of start feeding into their minds is that they need to consider their interests and rather what they're good at and what they're interested in to kind of decide where they're going to go from a tertiary education perspective. So, we started the idea of Edumatch quite a while ago and tried to build the algorithm such that it actually told you which courses you're eligible for based on your interests. That does become very difficult though, because all of the APS scores are different for different faculties at UCT and all sorts. So, so really what we kind of went one step back with Edumatch this time when we redid it now, and that is just to calculate the APS scores for each public institution, university, and then to kind of use the interests to guide students towards alternative options, private institutions, TVETs, things like that. That are not necessarily university where you don't need an APS score, but to kind of like guide them through those interests a little bit more.
That sounds
great. And speaking of APS score, you said that this app basically calculates the APS scores. Now, for those who are not too sure what an APS score is, could you just elaborate on that?
An APS score is admission points score, yes, and basically it's a number calculated based on the marks that you get. So. And it varies between the universities. We've got a ton of information on this on our EduConnect platform. We've actually got a breakdown of every single one of the university's APS score requirements and calculation and the algorithm that actually goes into it. But each, there's a score of 7, 8, or 6 or whatever it is tied to 70%, 60%, whatever it is, for your marks for various subjects, and those are calculated based on the algorithm for your admission point score, and then for various degrees it's an APS score of 26 minimum, and if you get 26 or higher, then you're eligible for that degree.
So basically, it takes the weight off the shoulder of matriculants having to wait until the next year to get their results and see if they're eligible for a bachelor's degree or a diploma or whatnot. Wow,
It sounds amazing. I would like to know, this is an incredible app. I wish you guys established way back when you were still in high school. So how has been the feedback? How has been the feedback and the love from the community since you guys have created this particular app?
Specifically Edumatch?
Yeah, Edumatch.
Well, teachers and students who message us on our various platforms who ask, give us their marks, and then we send them to Edumatch. They're very grateful for it, and teachers are like, oh my word, this is amazing. This is going to help my students so much. So far, people really love it. They like, it takes away the frustration of applying to university. It helps. It just gives them like peace of mind that, okay, I do qualify for this degree, so I can apply for it.
So you guys have all the different public higher institutions on the app. So we have access to that.
Yes.
Wow.
I was even about to ask that the app itself, I'm sure there's a number of activities. It's not just calculating APS scores and whatnot. What other things are on the app that are very helpful to the young learners out there?
Edumatch is just the APS calculator, right? We almost went away from calling it Edumatch as a whole and just called it APS calculator. Edu1 and what we built with that company is a number of different websites. Funding portal, which I think we chatted about a little while ago, last year sometime, about edu funding, which it was called at the time. It's now called Fundi Bursaries.
Okay.
So we've partnered with Fundi. I don't know if you know Fundi, the financial company.
Yeah, the financial company.
So we've partnered very heavily with them, and so now we're using their networks, their branches, and their presence in the education space in South Africa to put through our products throughout the country, and hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next year will be the education powerhouse of Africa.
You have to. You have to.
You guys keep on doing great things. So if our people are watching at home and they would love to use this app, where do they go? How do they find you guys in terms of social media and your website?
So Edumatch falls under Edu1. So if they want to contact us on social media, they go to Facebook, they type in Edu1 and we'll pop up. Same on Instagram and Twitter and everything else. If they want to go to Edumatch, it's just edumatch.co.za, or they can email us at info@edu1.co.za.
Wow, Nqobile.
I'm very interested in this. Except for the Edumatch, what other apps do you guys have?
Okay, brace yourself. There's Fundi Bursaries. It used to be called Edu Funding. Right? A centralized location for the application and discovery to tertiary funding opportunities in South Africa. So you can go on there, find scholarships, bursaries, student loans, all the rest, and apply online with one profile. Done. Okay. That all there's a centralized login for all of our websites in one go. Then we've got things like an information portal, which is EduConnect, and it's practical information about what university is like. Practical information about what are your post-school options, what are your TVET options, what institutions are out there as a whole. But stuff that the way that we write it too is that the student can understand these articles.
This thing.
The level at which we speak to them is very much the way that they speak to us.
Yeah, and it's very accessible. I would like to know quickly, if someone is like me, I'm 5 years after high school, is it possible for me to still go into the app and use it and calculate my marks that way released 5 years ago?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's for everyone. Any education seeker our sites offer everything we can possibly find about seeking an education in South Africa.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming. We've learned a lot, and hopefully all the young learners out there have learned a lot. For the last time, there was members of Edu1. If you want to actually stay educated and learn some more, please make sure you stay tuned right on next year. So much more. Let's go.